Hey, welcome back. I'm Blake Green. I am a cloud architect and AWS community builder. This is part 4 of building a full stack application on AWS. We're following this workshop at fsgql.com, and essentially, we're building a full stack application that books vacations to the moon. Like I said, this is part 4. In the previous parts, we've been able to really go through and build out the back end using the serverless framework, um, and Apollo, and working with AWS services like Lambda and DynamoDB. We signed up for Stripe. We've been working with GraphQL. We've integrated with Seed for our continuous integration and continuous deployment. And yeah, and so far we're pretty close to finishing the backend work, and then we'll come to the fork in the road, if you will, of picking our front end framework between Vue and React. I still haven't decided which one we're going to go with, but yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I post a lot of videos about going through workshops, specifically with AWS, uh, and then also I'm on Twitter at TSGT_green for Tech Sergeant Green, because I'm in the Air Force. Hua. But yeah, the social media sort of tags are at the bottom of your screen now. So, if you wouldn't mind connecting, and that would be awesome. So, anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The next chapter was unit testing queries. So in this part, we're going to show how to write unit tests for your functions. In theory, we should have done this first for the whole test-driven development, but you know wanted the GraphQL bits to go down first before we nailing down the unit test. So in the test folder, create a file called getAllListings.test.js and add the following. So over here in our Explorer thingamabob, okay, so yeah, we already have a test directory. If you guys can see that. And right now we only have a query.test.js. So we'll create a new file and we'll call it get all listing. Oops. Get all listings. Okay. And then basically we're going to import get all listings and get a listing. And then we're just going to, look to our local path. Was it in resolvers? No, where is that? Yeah, resolvers and then query, right? Okay, so then we're going to say describe all listings, and that's function, and say we're going to test brings back all listings. Okay, and then that's an async function. And it looks like, so we're going to use the args and uh, context equals context. I would expect us to sort of like, get the response and then parse it to make sure that we have, specific properties of the listing that we need. So we're gonna call the get all listings function, and wasn't it context, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, so then it says like we need to expect that the response in element 0 to have, oops, to have property, and then we need a listing ID, right? Okay. And then we also want to expect response dot length to be greater than 1, right? Because if it's less than 1, that means we're not getting a response. So makes sense. Pretty simple little test there, but simple but effective, right? So, okay, so the testing framework, it doesn't mention this, it just kind of points out that we're using Jest. Jest is a testing framework, a delightful JavaScript testing framework with the focus on simplicity. All right. We'll see. We'll see about that. So far, this has been anything but simple. But anyway, so Jest allows us to first describe the test. Then we call the test function with whatever we want to test, right? So we kind of give it like a name here, and then we create this async function, right? And then, so in our case, we're first making sure it brings back the listings. We call the get all listings query and make sure that the response has the listing ID and it's greater than 1. And then, okay, so yeah, then I was wondering why we imported the get a listing as well. But so it looks like we're going to call, yeah, like we're going to call both of those functions to make sure that, not sure where you're getting this guy. Maybe it's just kind of like fake or generated data for the listing ID, the unique identifier for the listing ID. But anyways, we're going to put that guy, oops, that is not what I wanted. I'll just type it out because we want to test and then brings a listing singular and then comma async And then obviously I'm definitely not gonna type this out. That would be brutal. Let's see if we can copy and paste that. And then let's see what else. We need context. Okay, and then our response equals await get, and then we call the get a listing function, right? And then we bring in the args and context, and I think that's it. Yeah. And then for this one, we're just expecting the response dot listing ID, and that's to equal args dot listing ID. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So let's save that. And it says, so we're making sure that the listing that comes back matches the listing ID we supplied in the query. We might be in a little trouble here with the test because I couldn't get the GraphQL playground to work. So whenever we did the mutation to sort of post the data from my local GraphQL playground, it's not in DynamoDB. So if we run this and it's looking for this listing ID, probably not going to work. But cheers, let's try it. That was a big gulp there of coffee. I started doing these streams, by the way, to become more of a morning person, but it's not working so far. I don't know what to do about that. Okay, so we run yarn test and then the name of our test, which is get all listings.test.js. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, so like I said, I kind of knew that it was going to fail because that listing ID does not. Oh, or did we? Oh, or I just did it wrong. But see, I'm going to blame it on the morning, All right, so we'll run the yarn test, get all listings again. And we've failed. Right. Okay. So, like I said, this is more in line with what I was thinking, right? Because in the specifically in this bottom like brings a listing test, thing is saying like expect listing ID, but obviously it doesn't exist in our DynamoDB table, so. Did I write that wrong? No, to have property. To have property. All right. Well, anyways, let's keep going. See if like once we actually get this thing deployed out there, because like it could possibly be because something on my like playground or something like that is messed up. So far, we've been able to like keep going, and it hasn't totally screwed anything up yet. But we'll see. Because the next chapter, we are deploying back end code. This will be the end of the back end. All right. So in this chapter, we'll deploy our backend. Make sure you commit all of your code. I use Visual Studio Code so I can do the following. Okay. We're familiar with that. Okay. So once we commit the code, we'll go into the seed console and check it out. When you open the build logs, you'll see your endpoints. Navigate to the endpoints, and you should be able to execute queries and mutations. Okay. So that is cool. Oh, okay. Nice. So maybe like last time I actually did try to use like Insomnia, the it's like a GraphQL testing. I don't know exactly what it is actually, but we tried to do our query and mutation there, and it didn't work. But I think it's because we didn't commit the code and deploy it to AWS. So that is what we will do, and then yeah, so I mean, like he said, if you're using VS Code like I am, it you could track your changes here in this like source control button on the left, right? And then there's like a little check button that says commit, and if you just hit that and then yes, and then up here you can write a commit message like send it. And then, so now that that's been committed, you can actually just push it by. Hopefully, you can see like the this little button down here next to it says like your branch, and then next to that there's this little button. If you click on that, it says this action will push and pull commits from origin master. So you hit OK, and that will push it up to GitHub for you. So if we log back into seed. Seed should be running like a deployment now, unless it's already finished. Okay, so it's still going here on our dev branch. Oh, sending it failed. So see what happened here. Webpack compilation error. Okay. Oh, is it because of the that's interesting. So a valid environment variable to satisfy the env stripe key could not be found. I thought that our serverless plugin was handling that for us, but it says module not found, can't resolve stripe in. So if we look in our package.json, I thought we downloaded. Oh yeah, look at that. Stripe's not even in there. What the heck? Okay, so let me go back to this guy. Where's like what chapter was it that we added the Stripe module? Okay, setting up Stripe. Let's see here. Maybe it's I thought there was a part where we like installed the oh, here we go. Yarn add, right? That should add it to our package.json, I thought, to allow us to use the let's try it again, see if it updates our package.json when we yarn add. Maybe I need to npm install it. Does that make a difference? Has unmet peer dependency. Okay, so that could also be why we're getting that environment variable, because that environment variable error because it didn't install this dependencies to look at our .m file, right? For that plugin to find our Stripe API key. So maybe, I don't know. Or do I need to like add it specifically to the package.json? I don't know. Let's look at this, guys. If we look at the like source, let's check out the Lunar API, Lunar Tour API. Yeah, so he's got like, oh, see, look at that. He's got all these other extra dependencies in his package.json. So I'm definitely thinking that that's why we're getting these errors in seed. But let's see what this thing does. It is taking forever. But we did a yarn add of the UUID and the Stripe modules. So technically it should add those dependencies in our package.json, I would think. But time for more coffee, I guess. Weird. So it doesn't like something. Weird errors. All right. What I'm going to do is copy pasta. Let's just try this. Let's see if we can just copy and paste these dependencies into our package.json. And then if we save, All right. Yeah. Let's trying to think. All right. Let's just commit that and see if Seed likes that better. Now that we include our uh my commit message, I'm still gonna send it. It's always important to have like good and detailed commit messages like that, so that people know what you're about, if you're about that life. All right, so that's now deploying. If we look at the logs, what is the pipeline? Oh, V8. Nice. All right, so let's see. Deploy. Did it work? I think it might have worked. Oh, look. CD. And Am I back? I don't know what just happened. That was weird. I think my internet went out. Oh man, that's a first. Thanks a lot, Comcast. I think I'm back now. I'm not sure. I can't really tell. Anyways, I guess I'll press on, and if it doesn't work, then whatever. That would happen though, like when I finally get this thing working, then all of a sudden like my internet goes out and the stream stops. Yeah, I think something happened with my internet there, but I think we're back now, so we'll go with it. Anyways, okay, so we committed it. Okay, so this makes me feel better. It looks like he was on version 43 and we're only on version 8. So that's a win in my opinion. All right, so it says when when you open up the build logs, you should see the endpoint. So I don't see that section here where it says stack outputs in the serverless part. Maybe it's in here. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Maybe. That's our S3 bucket. Okay. Stack outputs. So you gotta kind of have to dig for it a little bit, but it is in there. And now if we look at our service endpoint. So one thing that I noticed is does his say dev? Yeah, it says dev/GraphQL. What the heck? Ours just says dev. All right. Anyways, we'll try it, see what happens. I'm going to bring over my um, Insomnia client here. And what was I? What the heck? Let's get rid of this. Click to confirm. All right. We'll make a new request and we'll say our Lunar API. Wait a minute. Wait, no, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, we'll just do a get, I guess. I think we could change it after we create this like request. Wait, I'm kind of confused, right? So like, is this supposed to be select a body type from above? Oh, okay. Sorry. So once you click on the body part here, then you can select GraphQL query. And that's what we want. Got a 403 fetching schema from that. That's what I thought. Okay, so you dev/GraphQL like his refresh schema. Got a 400 fetching from. So something is not right still. Oops. Back here. Well, let's open up the AWS console and see if we can take a look in there. Let me open it up. Because from the seed the seed console here, it looks like it actually deployed, but yeah, and here's our get. Okay, here's our get endpoint. All right, let's what like, but it's saying that it can't fetch the schema. Did I paste that in correctly? It's the same. Okay, so maybe like it can't grab the schema, which kind of sucks because it should be like you know. Is this the same endpoint? Yeah, post. Uh, all right, let's try it. Let's try to send a where am I here? Make a mutation. So let's see. Make a booking mutation. Create mutation in the schema. I already did that. All right, so if I copy this guy, and then in this step, you're in see what happens. So we're this into API and oh, 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 it's not okay. It's better than certain oh, so this is good. This is good. At AWS, and then message here says cannot query field booking ID on type booking. Did you mean listing ID or booking? No, I think we meant booking ID, right? Well, if we look at our right, our GraphQL, where are you? Oh yeah, okay. So in our booking type, we don't have a booking ID in here. We just have ID. Maybe that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, I don't see any. Or I think that we're going for the listing ID. That's what we need. It's nice. Like it even, recommends like, did you mean this? Because that doesn't even, that doesn't, booking ID doesn't exist. So it's kind of nice. Listing ID. All right. So if we send that again, oh, we got rid of one at least, right? So cannot query field listing ID on type booking. Did you mean listing ID? Oh, Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Path, make a booking, internal server error. Hmm. Cannot read property 0 of undefined. What does that mean? Oh, well, we got a 200, so maybe did it work? This is crazy. It's kind of nice. I guess it's kind of nice that like it's not a perfect workshop or guide, because kind of learning a lot, kind of troubleshooting through this whole thing. So, always looking on the bright side. Yeah, so our DynamoDB tables are still empty. So it didn't actually post. Yeah, I'll show you too. So our dev bookings, there's nothing. Nothing. All right. Bummer. So what happened? Let's open up the Lambda console here. See if we can find anything in here. So that is our GraphQL.js. Probably a dumb like typo or something somewhere. So we go to the monitoring tab here, see if we can find any. Oh, look at that. I mean, we got some invocations. It error count and success rate. 100% success. That's interesting. Okay, so now we're getting some logs at least, right? We can work with that. Let's take a look at our latest logs. We're doing it live. Okay, so let's see if we're getting anything from here. Doesn't look promising. So I think it's working to like try to, post, but I don't know. Let's try and change this to, let's see here. Go up and then. Um, hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah, because we should be getting our charge receipt back. Could that be because like it's not working with our Stripe API? So maybe if we look at Stripe, did we get any sort of data from here? I don't know if this is like just documentation or let's see. I'm gonna bring this over so I don't share my Stripe API on accident. Let's just make sure that oh, okay. So like yeah, okay. So if you in your Stripe account, let me just bring that over. In your Stripe account, if you hit developers, it's actually monitoring your like how you access the API as well. So we've gotten zero API requests. Um, so perhaps it's not working with the Stripe API, which kind of is interesting because if you look at our environment variables, right? And I thought that we had added an environment variable here for our Stripe API. So if I come back here and look at where'd it go? Serverless.yaml, right? We cleaned this up last time. But yeah, so like it's not even looking it didn't update our Lambda with the Stripe secret key, which could be the reason why like when we post a mutation, it's not talking to Stripe, so we're not getting back the charge receipt. Hmm. So let me just try to. I'm just gonna now that we changed the package.json, I'm just gonna run like npm install, see if that like brings in the dependencies. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws now. So, anyways, so if I do an SLS offline again, now that we're actually using uh, and this kind of makes me feel better too because it's loading that Stripe secret key from our environment variable. And I know we had bad luck in with the GraphQL playground, but we're gonna try it again. See what happens. Okay, so here is the same mutation, and oh my god, I don't know what. Oh my goodness. Anyways, all right, so we're getting this is good, right? We're getting the same message now on our GraphQL playground. Oh man, good times. All right, so I need to change this again. I'll rerun it. And yeah, we're not looking for booking ID. We're looking for listing ID with a capital D. Listing ID. And that cannot read. Okay, so we are still getting the same error. Cannot read property 0 of undefined. I'm just kind of stoked that we got the GraphQL playground working, like that's a win in my opinion. Since it's been so freaking long. Let's see. Okay. Uh, yeah. So this is kind of nice. I don't know if now that we got this thing freaking working. Um, let me bump up the font here. Hopefully that's better. But on the right hand side, there's like this docs and schema tab. So it's supposed to. I mean, this is like the one of the benefits of using GraphQL is that it provides you like the schema documentation, right? So that you can modify your mutations or queries based on the documentation of the actual schema. And so like on the right hand side here, you can see it like within this like playground area that you like we should be mapping our mutations or queries based on the schema. So maybe let's try to dig through here and see if there's something that stands out that would help us with this cannot read property 0 of undefined. Like perhaps we're missing a property of this make a booking mutation. What does this do? Oh, that's just like you can hover over it and it'll tell you what it is. Booking. Okay, so yeah, if we look at, let's take a look at this. What's this? Mutation, make a booking, booking. Okay, so in the docs, we click on our mutation because that's what we're trying to do. And then here it says like, make a booking, and here's what it needs to include. Oh, okay. So we have a listing. We have our customer email, which is our customers, which is name, your surname, score, 0, country. Okay. No, so listing ID. Let's try this. Okay. So after listing ID, let's do size. Size is 1. That should be an integer. I wish this formatted better. It's not a very good. So I'm hoping like my goal here, right, is that, man, this is terrible. Okay. My goal is that we, include all of the properties in this make a booking mutation. So it includes the listing ID, size, booking date, customer email, customers, and then we should receive back, right, the charge receipt, which is a string. We should receive back the size and the listing ID. Like, okay, so what's the difference between ID and listing ID? Okay, we're getting nothing here. Right? Because, yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see what that does. Oh, did I? Just the same error. I don't even know if it reran or not. Cannot read property of undefined locations. Hmm. Well, shoot. Let's see what mutations.js, right, in our resolvers. It must be something with our. This is cool though. Like we're seeing that it's trying to post to our GraphQL endpoint. So at least that part is working. I've posted a lot. All right. So what is going on here? So this is our mutation. This is our make a booking function, right? And let's see. Let's take a look at the like the source code and see if our something is wrong with our mutation.js file. So source resolvers mutation.js. All right. So we import the unique identifier, the Stripe package, and our DynamoDB lib. He created a function called make a booking, which is async. Yeah. And then we get prices. You know what? I don't think that's right with the this guy here. Let's see what happens there. No, same error. Line 2, column 3. What does that mean? All right, sorry. Anyways, got sidetracked there. All right, so make a booking. Yeah, everything looks right. Try listings to query. So, okay, maybe this is, instead of using our lib, I don't know. So confusing. Okay, so listing, set listing to variable so we can reuse it. Okay, get prices, booking charge, parse int listing object item. So that's different. Instead of, well, okay, I guess we're using size as a, this size would be the same thing as customers.length, right? Listing name. It's just kind of annoying that, this source code is different than what is actually. Okay, so in the Stripe result, Stripe charges.create, booking charge, USD, and then params, bookings.db. Args.size is customer length. Okay. Hmm. Didn't it give us like I think it gave us like a idea of where this went wrong. No, not that. So this was like telling us it cannot read property of 0 undefined at make a booking, but then it gave us like, like, hey, check out this mutations.js line 24 or 36. Hmm. That is kind of true. Like we're not specifying item price. Wonder if we look at this guy again. So let's see here. So we have our listing object where we call the get prices function, right? And then calculate the amount to be charged to the customer's card. Well, he's using items.0 here too, dot price. Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Is that because we don't have we don't have anything in our table? But I thought like this would be we're making a booking, so we'd be posting. But if we don't, I guess if we don't have, right, because like what it's trying to do is it's saying like it's looking at our DynamoDB table to get the prices of like the trip, right? And then it gets the price so that it could use it to charge to make the booking charge. But if it's like scanning the or querying the DynamoDB table for a price and it doesn't have that, would that mean that it would that be the reason why we're getting this error message? It's because it just can't find this price of it because it doesn't exist. Kind of makes me think that that's the case, but let's see here. Could be just like talking myself into it, but right, because if we create our GraphQL schema, export listing, complete listing query. Let's see what this does. Oh wait, no. Because it's interesting that we did a query before we actually I can't remember if we actually like how is he getting how are we querying this data here? Because we never got the playground to work in the first place. So but let me try to run this query or this query and see rather than mutation. So failed to fetch, please check your connection. Oh, duh, because we running SOS offline. Okay, so let's try to run that again. Well, darn it. This backend stuff, not working out for us so well. Well, I think that's about enough troubleshoot. I gotta probably walk away from this for a second and think about it. But yeah, I can't think of why we are not the only thing that would make sense to me is just like there's nothing in our table in the first place. Like, did we actually? I mean, maybe we can just post. Okay, add listings to DynamoDB table. Uh, okay, hold on a sec here. Let's let's take a look at this here. We might be onto something. All right, so in our seed data, we had this listings.json that this okay. So this should have populated our DynamoDB table so that we would have some data that we could query. Um, and then we have this handy dandy little little file here that we should have. Oh, this is why, because we don't have a table named dev lunar listings. It's dev dash listings. Okay, so that changed. What happens now? Oh, okay. So what part was this? This was add listings to DynamoDB. Run. Okay, run locally. Okay, we did that. We created created our schema. That's good. Export listings function. Okay. Complete listing query. So confusing. Well, you know what? Let's commit this and push it up. Maybe now our CI/CD with seed will pick up that data and push it to our DynamoDB table for us. I don't know. Maybe that's just like part of the. I doubt it, but I mean, obviously that's a typo because we don't have a table named dev lunar listings. It's dev dash listings, which is throughout uh, the entire guide, right? But the idea, I think what's missing is that we are trying to run these mutations and queries on our table that doesn't have any data in it. So even when we create the mutation, um, the mutation is to make a booking so that it needs to go and part of that mutation is to go and query the table to get the price of the trip. But if there's no price, then obviously we're going to get that error. So I think the missing part is that we need to have that data pre-populated in the table so that we can run our queries and mutations through our GraphQL client or playground. But yeah, could be wrong. So let's take a look. And then I guess worst case scenario is that maybe I can find like a AWS CLI command to um, upload. We could upload this JSON file, perhaps, or I mean, we could run this guy as well. That would be kind of interesting. The weird thing is like I would have thought we would see this uh, like in our build. Yeah, but there's nothing. Let me see if put item. Nope. So that's not in our build uh, process. Anyways, let's take a look at our uh, Dynamo. Damn, still empty. Bookings? Nope. So that's what's so weird about this is like it says like add listings to Dynamo, right? But that, so we add the libraries. Okay, we're running Lambda locally. We're adding listings to Dynamo, but it just, like, what do you do after that though? That's just the gist of the listings that we've already added. Create a file, then copy the contents, then create an insert data.js and add the following. This function will allow us to add. Hmm. Loop over them to create a record. So, but like, how do you run? How do we run that? Hmm. All right. Well, I guess I'll try to maybe figure this out, and yeah, I definitely think that this is the problem. Is that it's not running this. It's not running this script here to create the records in our table. But okay. Anyways, yeah, we'll try again some other time, and hopefully it'll work out. But we're getting closer to deploying the back end. I feel it. It's gonna happen someday. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.